Here's Quebec Premier Francois Legault back in the good old days at the beginning of April. His approval rating among Quebecers was then 95%.
As we say in English, April showers bring May flowers.
He was announcing that he could see light at the end of the COVID-19 tunnel, that the lockdown could be over in a few weeks. Then it all went wrong. The outbreak in Quebec's long-term care facilities exploded. Horror stories appeared of residents abandoned by staff, unable to get to the bathroom for days, even starving to death. Fatalities skyrocketed. Several homes have 100% infection rates among residents and staff. The situation highlighted the large gap between what the Quebec government promised and what it delivered. Epidemiologist Gaston Dessert at Laval University has no doubt why Quebec now has by far the worst fatality rate in Canada.
The answer is that COVID-19 has really got a hold in long-term care facilities. So most of the deaths are coming from residents for elderly people. That's a worldwide phenomenon. It did affect Quebec harder, though.
Now Premier Legault's approval rating has dropped 23%, closer to the level of other premiers. This week he seemed defensive when faced with tough questions from reporters.
Oui. Pour être clair, encore plus clair, il n'y a aucune information qui est cachée. Okay?
La Presse columnist Patrick Lagacé says that both the public and journalists have grown more skeptical about Quebec government claims.
When you promise people on May 1st that you're going to have 14,000 tests by May 8th, and then to this day, you can't test more than 7,000 on average per day, that's a problem. So either you don't promise that, or you promise and you deliver.
Je vais enlever ça pour que tout le monde comprenne.
Legault has had a number of flip-flops. He began by denouncing the use of masks.
Bonjour.
Then his team showed up this week ostentatiously wearing them. In late April, he flirted with the controversial concept of herd immunity, allowing the infection to spread so that the population develops antibodies.
Il peut y avoir une immunité naturelle qui va empêcher une vague.
That was on a Thursday.
But on the Monday, they mentioned in passing that, oh, you know what? Herd immunity, we're not sure if it's working, so we're not basing our strategy on herd immunity. It was a shocking about-face.
In the early weeks of the outbreak, Premier Legault was helped out by his charismatic wingman, Quebec's public health director, Horacio Arruda.
It's embarrassing, a mask. A mask will make your hands go over your face. It gives a sense of false security.
Dr. Arruda charmed the press and the public with his folksy style and his ability to simplify complex scientific explanations.
Just explain it in a way that people understand.
But over time, he seemed to leave science behind and even contradict himself in order to support the government's announced plans.
Bonjour.
He fully supported the controversial reopening of primary schools outside the island of Montreal, a move that was criticized by medical experts, including the federal government's chief scientific advisor, Mona Nemer. Despite repeated requests, she had seen no plan from Quebec.
Écoutez, je ne répondrai pas à madame, compte tenu que je considère que je n'ai pas à rendre de compte à cette dame, mais à la population du Québec, ça oui, puis à mes autorités.
Dr. Arruda is the scientific backbone in this government right now. He should have been able to explain in scientific terms why Quebec was acting this way. He did not do that. He answered just like a politician from Quebec would answer to a politician from Ottawa whose question he didn't like. He seems to play politics, and I don't think that this is his role.
Beat me up, Scotty. Beat me up, Scotty.
Dr. Arruda seems a bit taken with his own sudden stardom. He appeared in a video performing what he called a quarantine dance with a local rap artist. It was not well received. The La Presse editorial cartoon portrayed him dancing on the roof of a long-term care home as people were dying below. This week, Arruda made a tearful apology.
Donc, ça n'a jamais été mon intention de blesser qui que ce soit.
Still undaunted, the Quebec government announced a plan to reopen schools in the city of Montreal on May 25th, even as epidemiologists' projections showed that would cause a spike in COVID-19 deaths, up to 150 fatalities per day by July.
In that situation, if you increase the number of contacts between people in the society, you will go above this epidemic threshold, and then the epidemic will go up again.
Under a tidal wave of criticism for his recklessness, Legault announced Thursday that Montreal schools would not reopen after all until August or September. The Premier still hopes to reopen many Montreal businesses on May 25th, praying it will not go wrong again. Terrence McKenna, CBC News, Toronto.